So good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, and that means that we have the lovely JoJo Ramsden with us again. How are you?
Hello,
lovely?
the lovely Lisa. Yes, I know, it just comes around so quickly. I just can't believe we're nearly at the end of this year. It's just whizzed by. I mean, I don't know, it may have gone really slowly for a lot of people, but I think most of us have been busier than we ever imagined we could be when we weren't doing all the things we normally do, like commuting for 2 hours a day. And it's like, how can you possibly still stuff so much into that time and space? But I don't know, it's very strange feeling all round. I think that in lots of ways we've really kind of calmed things down. We've had more quality time together, and then of course on the other side of the coin there have been lots of things we haven't been able to do, like spend time with family. And so it's a double-edged thing all the time going on, isn't it, which can frazz your brain some days, really. I think we all have to kind of learn to just step back occasionally and just breathe, which actually I need to listen to my own lessons, because we were talking just now, and as you know, I can talk about 100 miles an hour, and I often have friends saying, do you use punctuation or do you draw breath ever? You talk a lot. And I'm like, I know, but that's what I do for a living, so I need to be good at it.
I have the same thing. My dad says to me all the time, he'll phone me on a Sunday evening and he'll say, hello, how are you? And he'll ask me questions and I'll answer them, and then he'll just go, well, I might as well go now because you've just spoke to me solid for 45 minutes. But it's like once a week I get to talk to him and he asks me what I'm doing.
You've got a lot to say, yeah.
I do. I've got a lot to say, but also I don't like to just give people like small talk. I like to actually, explain a lot of stuff so we can actually then talk about it and have a conversation. But I am like you, but at the end of the day, I think it's because you're passionate about what you do.
I think so, yeah, when you get really excited about what you're doing and what's going on. And and I think, to be honest, my experience is that whether it's working in a company or working for myself, you need huge amounts of energy, because you either are busy at work working for someone else and your job is very demanding and you have a bigger and bigger workload, it seems, these days, or it's the same if you're working for yourself, because gone are the days where you only had a couple of things really, like just generally running your business to think about. Now there's so much to think about with online, offline marketing, and just general running of your business. And then of course big challenges coming our way as they have this year. And it's, I think, one of the key things I often look at doing is managing that complexity and making life more simple for ourselves, and how we can do that. And a lot of what I talk to everybody about is dealing with that overwhelm, where you don't know where to start, and you can kind of then end up procrastinating because you think, oh, I don't know where to start, I don't know which one to start on. You might start on a particular task or project, and then you get waylaid by something else. And so we've talked about it, and we reducing your distractions and all those kinds of things. So all good.
Lots of things.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to think about, because it is countdown to the end of the year. And of course, as we know, following on from James's talk with you on Monday, this is really a big last push for a lot of companies, all of us really, to really take advantage of this window of opportunity. And especially as things have been so hard this year, that if there are still things that need sorting out with your digital marketing plan, or any offline sales and marketing projects you've got ongoing, or just doing another post to go on LinkedIn to tell everybody some latest news about your business, or to get yourself signed up with a virtual online market to sell your products in the countdown to the end of the year, and all those kinds of things. And now is really the time to just push and get it all done. So personally, I've had quite a lot going on. I'm a little bit tired. I'm really looking forward to the moment when it's actually all pulls together in the next couple of days and everything goes live, and I've done what I've been working on for the whole of lockdown, basically. Exciting times.
You have worked hard, and I know that every week when we've spoken, you've obviously been talking about your new website and your books and all these things that are happening. And it's kind of like, I suppose it's the same for us, really. Dave's been very busy with the new websites and everything.
Yeah, I know you have equally.
It takes a massive chunk of your time up trying to make sure it's right, and it will be, and it'll be amazing. And we're looking forward to
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to all of it, because we've all been working like little busy hamsters on a wheel, haven't we, behind the scenes, you know, charging those generators and getting everything sorted out. And yeah, no, it's really exciting, because you know, for a lot of people, there's always that idea, isn't there? Oh, maybe this is something I'd like to do. And I imagine that a lot of people have gone down a similar route this year, which is to just think, okay, this could be the time I actually, you know, launch myself out there with my new business idea or whatever it is I want to do, which it can be very scary and exciting all at the same time, can't it? And yeah, and I think we were just saying that there is a point where, like you know, James Blake, we were saying a while back, is just to get started, to just get on with it, to just try something and just, you know, give it a go and see how it goes. And also Sales James was talking a long time ago about writing content and having content, and you know, that being one of the sort of biggest things we all have to think about a bit more these days. And again, that kind of sparked a little seed which grew, you know, into a bigger tree of thinking, oh, actually, yeah, writing, you know, how about that? What about this book that, you know, you kind of been thinking about for a while? And what about getting yourself out there? And we've talked a lot, haven't we, about confidence and just, you know, giving something a go. And obviously people want to look professional, but if you've done the best you possibly can before you get information out there, of having people check it, and you've proofread something several times yourself, and you've had feedback from other people, then, you know, just try something. It might be something new. It might be fine-tuning something that you've already been doing, might be upgrading something. But just really, you know, go for it, I think, is the message for today, pretty much.
Well, it is. And that's what James was saying the other day when he was talking about, you know, if you've got an idea, and you're worrying about what people might think, you know, you should just try these things, because you're always going to get somebody that doesn't like or agree with what you're saying.
He made a really valid point there, and you did as well.
Mean that it's not the right thing. It's just we're all different, and if we were all the same, it would be really boring. You know,
certain styles suit certain people better than others, don't they? And like you say, you're always going to have a critic, and it's like, well, okay, you can criticize, but are you doing any of this yourself? You know, are you an expert on what we're doing here? So are you a person who can actually comment negatively? And I think we've always said as well that what people see as negative feedback or criticism actually can help you to improve things. So if someone is saying, oh, well, I didn't like this because, or that wasn't right because, or whatever, sometimes maybe they're helping you. They've spotted a typo that you missed, or they actually have assessed your product and they've thought, well, actually, it would be better for me personally if this was added in. And you think, oh, okay, that's something that I hadn't thought of, actually. That's a really valid point. So it's all about, again, it comes back to the whole mindset thing of how you look at life, whether you're a glass half full or a glass half empty person. And quite often, you know, you can take that on and say, well, thank you, that's great. Thanks for the feedback. I'll take that on board and I'll take it away and I'll do something about it and turn it into a positive thing. And I think the other thing is that, you know, we were saying as well that it's a good idea as well to get feedback from people about your own strengths, because when we go back to the sort of business basics of your SWOT analysis and all those kinds of things, often what I found in the past is it's very interesting how other people view you, and maybe in a way that, you know, you haven't quite seen yourself. And we're often our own worst self-critics, aren't we? We're often, you know, we can be very negative about our own abilities to do things. So I've got lots of those positive affirmations like, you know, she believed, so she could, and, you know, or he did, or those kinds of things that I put up on my wall, and just, you know, look at when I come into my office. And if I'm sort of feeling a bit like, okay, you know, here we go again today, feels a bit like Groundhog Day some days, you know, they always make you feel better, don't they?
I love a good quote for just pumping you up, to be honest. And there's some out there that will make you smile. There's some that will make you think more. There's some that make you sad. There's all sorts. But I think it is like you said. We at the end of the day, we are our worst critics. And actually, 9 times out of 10, I would probably say that when somebody has a really good idea and they're so worried about it, it probably is going to be something that's really good, and they're just too scared of, you know, doing the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing. Because you tend to find the people that are super, super confident with an idea and they go with it, it tends to be rubbish. In my opinion, That's what happens. Those that are out there going, yeah, I can do this because I'm awesome, and they go and do it, and then it fails. Whereas then someone like you or me, who's a little bit maybe, I'm not really sure, actually, probably what it's because we're holding back because we want it to be so good. And actually,
yeah, I think it is a bit of a perfectionist kind of thing, and being conscientious, and also, like you say, it's about being a little bit cautious, and maybe biding your time until the timing is right, but by having done all the things behind the scene, so that when you do go out there and you are confident about what you're doing, it's because you've had all the feedback, whether that's been positive or negative, and you've changed that into positive to actually, get something out there that people will find useful or helpful or will want to buy as a service or a product. So yeah, it's definitely good to kind of be able to stand back and see it from a different perspective on a regular basis. And Dave and I and you are always talking about your helicopter view of your business, aren't you? And the sort of holistic jigsaw puzzle picture of how everything fits together, and that whole thing of your annual business plan, let's say, which for me, again, this year, I had to go through quite a lot of changes, and I've put a lot of new things into the business. And it started literally like they do, with a piece of paper and a few ideas and what I wanted to do with it all. And actually, I'm really pleased because a lot of the things that I have been working on are starting to really come to fruition, and everything leads to the next thing. You can't do it all at once. It often does take a year or 18 months to roll these things out. So it's, a good idea to kind of not feel frustrated as well when you think, oh, this is taking so long, or it's going so slowly, or this should have been done by now, or whatever, to actually, think that maybe things often just fall into place when they're meant to, if you've put in the groundwork behind the scenes. And I think there are just lots of things to think about, but being a little bit, in my view, a little bit zen, where you occasionally just stand back a bit, look at everything. You then perhaps put all that energy into driving something forward again, but you can't constantly be driving things forward, and you can't also be too zen. You've got to be, a nice little yin yang balance in the middle somewhere, where you think, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be really energetic and motivated today. And then actually, maybe tomorrow I'll cut myself a little bit of slack, but all those things that I've sent out yesterday will be ticking along in the background. In the minute someone will reply back, or I know they're busy and they can't answer right now. So, it's just all of those sorts of things. So what I wanted to do today was really kind of focus on the business success model. I was sitting there the other day, me, I like to sit on my thinking step, and then I have an idea and I'm like, oh, that'd be, a good one, I think, for this week's podcast. Let's have a chat about that. And obviously, because we've mentioned Christmas and the countdown to Christmas and the end of the year, and I just started thinking, well, okay, let's take the letters success. There are 7 of them. So let's make that 7 tips, things to think about. And you know how my brain works. I like a good acronym because it helps me to remember what it's actually about. So short, absolutely. Sweet, to the point. And so I'd like to start with, me, I like to always talk about the 10,000 mile journey starts with a single step. So the first thing is, what is your single step? And I would like to take on the theme of Christmas into that and say, think about what's your first step going to be supporting local businesses this year. I'm a really big advocate of supporting local. And so start with that single step to support local. Manage your complexity and your uncertainty by, in my view, taking it a day at a time. Yes, you need to have a long-term goal and planning and all those things in place. But, if you're clear about where you want to be taking your business, then just get up, get on with that day, get as much done as you can in that day, according to how your energy levels are. And, if you've done a lot by a certain time, you work for yourself, well, then you can do your flexible hours as long as you know that you've achieved all the things you set out to achieve that day. Things like, so there's a phrase, an affirmation, which is don't count the days, but make the days count. So again, that's like, get up every day, be absolutely grateful for all the good things in your life, and make that count, whatever it is you do, whether it's business related or in your life. Cash flow, of course, very important. While you're putting all your future plans in place, remember that you need to be just keeping that money from your current customers coming through the doors and managing that carefully, especially in terms of a time of the year which tends to be a little bit more expensive. So maybe kind of take a look at that. And E was managing expectations. So if you're going into agreements with people, or if you're increasing your business, be really clear that, you know, you've got it in writing, you know what the terms and conditions are, you know what the expectations are, you know what the deadlines are, when something's going to be delivered. And so you can prevent and preempt any potential problems in the future. And then the usual SWOT analysis, focus on your strengths and how that's going to help you to grow your business. And then I think I was just going to kind of come back round and talk about sustainable growth, which I just mentioned to you, Lisa, which was about, think about maybe getting your tree with roots on this year so you can replant it. Look at how you can reduce your waste. So, you know, maybe make something recycled, or buy from a local shop that sells recycled wrapping paper or whatever it is. So just go away, take that success model and just apply that to whatever it is you're doing, and just make life a little bit more simple for yourselves, basically, while it's getting a little bit crazy with everyone thinking about, you know, starting to send presents and all the rest of it. And, you know, and have the best time that you can this year and celebrate all the good stuff as much as you can, really. So that's what I wanted to share with you today.
Yeah, well, exactly. That is all we can do at the end of the day. I did see something this morning about that they're thinking of letting us have 5 days without any lockdown rules at all, so we can do whatever, have family and everything, then go back into lockdown.
That's going to be interesting, because it will just go crazy when everyone will just be like doing whatever they possibly can in that window of opportunity.
To be honest, I would imagine people are going to anyway. I mean, I'm quite a stickler for rules. I always follow rules, and probably could get called boring sometimes, but
no, not at all. I think there are lots of people that are doing that. But I think, yes, there may be a few things going on when the sun's gone down.
It doesn't mean that I don't want
under
to
the cover of dark.
In my head, I'm thinking, oh gosh, wish I could just see my son or my dad or my mum or whatever. But yeah, I suppose I'm a goody two shoes in one sense. But at the end of the day, I just want it all to be over quicker and done, so we're back out.
Well, exactly, Lisa. And you know, if you've been doing what you've been asked to do, and if everybody continues to do what they're asked to do, however hard that is, it means that potentially all of this will be over sooner rather than later, and doing it all again. So yeah,
it does mean that we are going to have potentially a different type of Christmas. But as I said to my daughters that both live at home, you know, at the end of the day, for us as a family, as long as we're together and we have nice food and drink, and you know, and just have that time. There's people out there that have lost their loved ones, aren't they, really? And they're not going to have that. And so I always look at the positives.
Yeah, always focus on what you still have to be grateful for. And one of the things I was going to say, because I've been thinking a lot about selling my books and donating money to Mind charity, because they were written during lockdown and they initially started as blogs to help people during this time. But one of the things I was thinking about is it's often very easy to just say, you know, I'm here if you need me, give me a call if you need me. We all kind of tend to do that a little bit, but actually to sort of contact friends and family and neighbours and say, what can I actually do to help you at the moment? So you really are reaching out, and you're not just kind of going, you know, I'm here if you need me, give me a call, because people often don't, as you know, when they're feeling down or we're feeling down, sometimes it's very easy to think, actually, I just want everyone to leave me alone. But actually, a lot of the time you don't. You kind of feel like you want to be left alone, but you don't. You want someone to say, I really care about you, and how are you doing? And like you say, especially at this time, it is a time to celebrate, and hopefully everyone will have the best Christmas possible. But there are obviously going to be a lot of people in a really difficult situation for whatever reason. And now is really a chance to think about how you can help others as much as possible. And, you know, if you can do that while you're running your business, and you're making a living doing good things that support other people, then that's fantastic, because I think that's one of the best things you can ever do in life, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's out there. So take that challenge on, everybody. We've thrown a few things into the mix for you today. It'd be really nice, actually, if people came back in the next few weeks and just let us know. you know, what you've done as a result. Because Lisa, the other thing I was going to say is I can genuinely see people really blossoming through coming to your networking events, through participating, and then actually thinking, yeah, you know, I'm going to give this a go. And you can see where people have put, I've done this for the first time. This is my first time I've done my video, or I've done this or whatever. And that they've really kind of started to move their businesses forward. And it's great to be able to see that. So it'd be really great to have some feedback from anybody that just
definitely
wants to share their stories with us, whatever it is. I just think that would be really nice to hear some, you know, good news stories back.
Mary Lunnan, bless her, lovely lady. She said hello, Lisa and JoJo.
Hi.
But I'll put a message in afterwards just to say to people, you know, give us some feedback. What you're doing, really, because it is important, and the more we have the conversations with each other, you know, that we can all help each other in so many different ways. It's not always about money, is it? You know, the time that you guys are giving by doing this as well, and the fact that you're all giving something to people that it might not be of any use, but at the same time, for the next person, it might be very useful. So it's not. It doesn't matter what on the day, does it? People watch these back later.
I think as well that sometimes the smallest, tiniest tip will just send you off in the right direction. Like I was saying, James Blakeway talking about, you know, just write a blog, just do it, just have a go at something, and overcoming that lack of confidence to, you know, kind of put yourself out there and say, you know, hi everybody, I'm here. And the same with sales, James saying, you know, about writing content and then kind of thinking, oh right, okay, so blog, content, put that together, book, podcast, audio books, I could do that, wow, actually I could do that, and then actually start doing it. And, you know, definitely for me as well, as one of the mentors, your advice and Dave's advice and the networking events and everybody included in that, and all the advice in the 11s and from the other mentors as well, has really helped me to grow my business this year in ways that I kind of never expected at the beginning of this year. So, you know, I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody else as well, because that sharing of information between us and mutually supporting each other is just, it's been really great for my own particular personal growth while helping others, hopefully, to do the same thing as well.
Well, it's always a pleasure, JoJo. You are.
Well, thank you. I always love doing this. Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity every week. Yeah. Thank you. Well, and I'll see you same time next week, which will come round and feel like about 5 minutes, I think. If not before then, I'll see you at 11s on Friday. See you there.
Have a fantastic
with my biscuits.
Thank you, lovely.
Cheers. Yeah, you too. Have a good day. Bye.